excuse me, ayin vav. We're holding 2, 4, 6 lines from the top. Ayin vav. We didn't skip. We didn't skip. No skipping. Okay. V'yesh omrim. The question is why you're not permitted to marry a kusi. Kusis. So the Tosefta says Yesh omrim. There's others say Shem Bekim B'dikduke mitzvos. That because they're not proficient in the aspects and details of mitzvos, so what happens when it comes to marriage or divorce? Marriage wasn't a proper marriage, and the divorce wasn't a proper divorce, so we're talking about mamzerus, illegitimacy. Man Yeshomrim, who's the Yeshomrim? Omer Avidi, Barovin, Reblezi. Question, Reblezo, Reblozi, the Tanya. So we love Matzas Kusi, Muteris. If a Kusi bakes matzah on Pesach, one does not have to be concerned about chometz. Not only doesn't one have to be concerned about chometz, one is able to fulfill his obligation of the mitzvah saseh of achilas matzah, erev tochel matzos, meaning that he supervised it for the sake of the matzah, the shem mitzvah matzah. That's the Tanakama. Reb Leza Omer, Reb Leza Oser. Reb Leza says no, you're not permitted. Why? V'shem b'kim b'duduke mitzvos. Because even though they may mean well, but if a person is not boki b'duduke mitzvos, he's not proficient in the aspects of mitzvahs, it's like, today people. I keep a kosher home. The person truly believes they keep a kosher home. But do you know what kosher is? And what happens if things get mixed up? Or you think it's kosher. Well, I only buy kosher products. Now, it's all natural ingredients. Therefore what? You still could have something that could be not kosher in the products you bought. Ein bekim b'dikduke mitzvos. People are not, it's ignorance. Ein bekim b'dikduke mitzvos. So therefore, there's a question of chometz, and there's a question of what? Of what it wasn't on the shmo. So definitely you're not going to be yotze mitzvah matzah. Reb Shim Gamliel Omer, kol mitzvah she'achziko ba'kusim, any mitzvah which the kusi took upon himself, harbe medakbo yosem Yisrael, they're more meticulous in that mitzvah than even ordinary Jews. Because they pride themselves in that. So it's not even a question. So if, let's say, they took on mitzvah matzah, they could be fully trusted. Even though in other areas, let's say, regarding yichus, they're not, marriage and divorce, but if, let's say, matzah is their mitzvah, it's afilu yosem Yisrael. So over here, Tosas has a question. Let's see, top Tosas. Matzahs kusi muteres. Pirish muteres lochin bepesach. Vein bo mishum chashosh rechimutz. One does not be concerned. Maybe it's chometz. V'odem yotze b'chovos pesach v'leil yom tov rishon shachil yosa chova. Right? It's the erev tochel matzos. The erev tochel matzos. That's mitzvah. That's Tezvav, the 15th of Nisan. V'lohi kimochim b'tzeko shalom kochovim b'kaimolon. It's not like the flour or the dough that's made by a non-Jew. The odom ali kreiso mehen. Person's permitted. He was speaking about where we know it was not chometz. As long as the last kzayis you eat is what was made lishmo yotze. Bim Tobav Arbino quotes a picture of Reb Lezer called the Oche Paskusi Kil Ochel Chazir. Right? It says they legislated. It's like a non-Jew touches wine. You're not permitted to drink the wine. They wanted people to stay away from the kusim. It says anybody who eats the bread of a kusi, it's like eating pork. So what are we talking about? You could be yotzi a mitzvah. Even though it may be chometz, even though they baked it lishmo, you're not permitted. It's like pasakum. Right? What's the halacha? A non-Jew bakes home-baked bread. Home-baked bread, not commercial bread. Even though the ingredients 100% kosher, you're not permitted to eat it. A non-Jew. Right? Paspalter, you're permitted, right? That's commercial bread. But paspal abayis, if it's a non-Jew, you're not permitted to eat it. Okay? I was told a story. There was a student many years ago. They Yisrael, probably in his early 50s. And Nachi, you want to hear the story? No, we're talking about there's a mashgiach, but he didn't participate in lighting the fire. But everything supervised, all the ingredients 100% kosher. That's called paspalto. It's baked by a non-Jew. The fire was made by a non-Jew. No Jew participated in anything, any process of relating to the baking. That's called paspalto. It's not pasakum. Pasakum is only pasbalabayis, that you're not permitted to eat. So the story was, this young boy came, 13 years old, 13 and a half, came from Columbus, Ohio. His father was a Reformed Jew, his mother was a Shitza. He went to the day school in Columbus, and he had a conservative conversion. So, he was given a Hebrew name, this and that, and his grandparents, his father's parents, were traditional Jews. They paid for his day school education because his father couldn't care less. Wasn't a good person. He lost his mother, and he was raised by his mother, who wasn't Jewish, but she very much had a very special relation with her in-laws, and she wanted him to be raised as a Jew. So she did whatever she could. She came to Baltimore. They realized this conversion wasn't good. He was reconverted. Okay? So he would go home every once in a while. It's bishalakum, pas balabayis, his mother's baking for him, even though there's no question all the ingredients were kosher. And if she'd bake for him, he was not permitted to eat the baked product. She cooked, so he'd put it on the fire, and he would do everything. He would light the fire which he would bake, so everything was 100%. And this is the way he was raised till he was married. He married a Gioris. He married a Gioris who was an orphan from Israel, from her parents, and the mother supported him in Golden. This non-Jewish woman, she never converted. I'm not sure if she's still alive. Whenever he lived in Israel, and he raised his family in Israel, whenever his wife would have a child, they come to the States. He came. His mother had a summer home in Wisconsin. He would bring his children. His mother would watch the kids for a few weeks. He and his wife would go on a vacation, and his mother would pay for the vacation. And that was the relationship. So we're talking about pasakum, but yet she did everything to accommodate them that it should be 100% according to the halacha. That was the story. But pasakum, but over here, how do you paskusi? Pick the Rebbe said called ochel paskusi kilo ochel chazir. Right? So even if they're medaktikim, you're not permitted to eat the matzah. 18 minutes left of rabbinic. That's a doraisa. Doraisa. It's not rabbinic. They will medaktik 100%. Lishma everything. The shloma and dafka pas shakusi losh osa bebeso. That's only if it's made. The whole process is under his supervision. If he prepares it in the home of the Jew, mutter. Now this is very important. The kusim, what we mentioned, are like the stukim. They interpret it Torah like we said. It's only if she's narusa that woman falls to evil. But if a woman is a nesua, they allowed her to remarry. So according to Reb Kiva, the child of that union is what? Is a mamzer, right? So it says lefnei v'lusitim nichshol. How did they interpret lefnei v'lusitim nichshol? Blind man's walking now, don't trip him. But in terms of misleading another Jew to do the wrong thing, that's not their interpretation of lefnei v'lusitim. So over here, even though medaktin, that's for themselves. What about when they bake for others? They'll tell you, something? It's kosher, it was made properly. Maybe it's not. Maybe it wasn't made lishma. Maybe it's chometz, right? Because that's relating to someone else, that's not relating to themselves. So Tosa says, if the non-Jew, if the kusi eats first of it, so he's not going to be in violation. So even though he doesn't know lefnei v'lusitim nichshol, because based on their interpretation of lefnei v'lusitim nichshol, it's permitted to feed another Jew something that's not permitted. It's only for themselves. So that it says that you're permitted yotze, it's only first they took of it themselves. Then if you eat it, you yotze matzah. No. No, this kusi. Asphalt is a goy, regular goy. What's wrong? It's made lishma. What difference does it make? It's not. Is it chametz? It's not chametz. Was it supervised for the sake of mitzvah matzah? Yes. They eat, let's say they would eat pork. Well, in shchita they don't do a proper shchita. Okay, so they don't do a proper shchita. Because it's a fact. Not person not shomer. How do you trust him in business? How do you trust him in business? Maybe he's dishonest. I'm asking you this. Maybe he's dishonest in business. Yeah, because I know he has a degree of integrity. 100%, he could be trusted. Same thing. Matzah to them is like no different than, they're honest. This is our mitzvah. We do it 100%. One thing is nothing with another. How do you know? But again, you have to know that they know exactly that it's kosher. How do you know? How's it possible? How could they be proficient in the laws? They would never learn properly, right? It's not fact. It's not reality. You're speaking in the abstract, theoretical. Okay. They have a religious chef who cooks all their food for them, and they happen to be reformed. Of course, you can eat that. It's not a problem. And the wife never walks into the kitchen. You could eat at their house, right? Religious housekeeper, everything. Only observant people run the house. That's the argument here. No, that's the beginning. That's a good. But there it's for a different reason. No. Yeah, of course. They were interested in the Torah. No, they can't be better than Amoritz. And Amoritz is Metami. So what, a kusi is not Metami? There's no question. It's Tommy. It's permitted in Tchulin. It's not Truma Hegdish. It's not Truma. It's not a... If a person conducts a Tyrus HaKodesh, he's not going to eat the kusi's matzah. No question. I remember, in Yeshiva many years ago, 6 weeks after, a month after Pesach, they served matzah. Because the bakery, all the bread was always donated in those years. It was a bakery which they didn't sell the chametz on Pesach. It was a Jewish bakery. It was definitely kosher ingredients. And they would give us bread that was 2 days old. The bread they couldn't sell, that's what they would give to the yeshiva. That's the bread we ate. And in those days it wasn't a problem. There were no strikes, no protests. That was the bread. So after Pesach, we couldn't take the bread. So for a month, we ate Manischewitz matzah. So one of the students, the Bochrim, go to my mashgiach, who was Amir and Talmud from Europe, who was Shanghai during the war. And he says, how do we eat Manischewitz? It's a question of Chometz Shabbat Pesach. Chometz that's owned by a Jew on Pesach, you're not permitted. It's Chometz Shabbat Pesach. We would eat matzah. We wouldn't eat Manischewitz at the Seder during Pesach. So how are we permitted to eat the Manischewitz matzah after Pesach? For a month we ate Manischewitz matzah. So he said that during the war, when they were in Shanghai, the joint sent them Manischewitz matzah, they ate it at the Seder. The Mirad Talmidim ate Manischewitz matzah at the Seder, he said. We ate Manischewitz matzah. You're worried about Chometz Shabbat Pesach? That's what he said to him. Said to the student, his Bochum. Yeah. This was the reality of this particular situation. Okay? Elohochi, what does it mean? Ein bekiyin, lefi she'ein bekiyin, Torah's kedushin, v'gerushin. Because they were not proficient in the laws of kedushin and gerushin. That's the reason why Rebbe Elazar says you're not permitted to marry a kusi. Because there's a question of mamzerus, illegitimacy. Omer Rav Nachman, Omer Rav Buah, mamzer me'achoso, mamzer me'ishesach, nisarva ben. He says there was an incident, there was a mamzer, person had relations with his sister, and therefore wanted them, that illegitimately intermingled among the kusim, and there was a mamzer from Eishesach. Now, what's Achosa Eishesach? They're both chayv krisus, right? So he says, he's telling you the story. Rav Nachman says the name Rabbi Ravua, there was an incident, a child that was born from an ancestral relationship, either Achosa or Eishesach, is Arvahem. My kamashmo. Wait a second, I understand. It's not, or if the rove, whatever it is, I mean, there was an incident, it happened. Okay? We don't know. Maybe they know, we don't know. My kamashmo. Meaning like this, he should have said, a mamzer intermingled. He has to tell, it was a mamzer from Eishesach. Does it make a difference? Eishesach? It was a illegitimate relationship, a union that the Torah does not permit it if it's a mamzer. What does he have to say? It was a mamzer from Achoso, a Eishesach. So he says the reason why he's telling specifically what happened, yesh mamzer b'chayv krisus. Right? There's a mamzer chayv krisus. First of all, they may have held that there's only mamzer b'chayv Mrs. Bezdin. Right? We had before it's machlokes tanoim. We rule la halacha. No, Mrs. Bezdin there. We had before machlokes tanoim. We rule even krisus, but there is an opinion. So maybe the kusim held only Mrs. Bezdin is a mamzer. So they held it wasn't even illegitimate. I mean, according to their position. So the Mar says nisli chado. So say one of them. What does he have to say? Eishesach and achoso. I mean, it's the same thing. It's redundant. And that it said ma'aser shoyi kachoyi. That was the incident. That's what happened. Rava Omar. The incident was it wasn't achoso eishesach. Eved v'shivcho nisarvu ben. So because Eved, a Canaanite slave or Shivcha Canaanius, Isur Mishamai. So what was the reason why? What's the concern? Mishum Shivcha. So Nisli Chados to say one. Ma'iseshoya Kachoy. Same answer. Ma'iseshoya Kachoyo. We want to know why Rebbe Lezer was machmi. Because there was this incident happened. So therefore, as a result of that, we don't, even if you hold Kusam Geri Emes, as we discussed, originally they were, but factually, since they themselves, there was the Eved B'Shivcha. But other category of Jews, they'd weed it out. They would weed it out. They would not weed it out. Exactly. Hanosi Isha Kohenis, Mishnah. That's only regarding Hilchos Tum V'Tayra. That's Tum V'Tayra. Not sure. I'm not sure exactly what you're speaking about. I mean, the Gemara says by a person who married, who has relations with a Nochris, Nashgaz, Nida, Shivka, they gave her every category of a forbidden relationship. It's rabbinical. Rabbinical, of course, rabbinical. Hanosi Isha Kohenis. A Kohen marries Isha Kohenis. A Kohen's a Muchas. Did he have to check her pedigree before he would marry her? She's a Kohenis. Does he have to check her pedigree before he marries her? He has to do a pedigree check. We'll see. The Mishnah speaks about Leviah and Yisraelis too. There's even a Kohenis. Well, the Gemara is going to ask. I mean, Tosis asks, what about? I mean, a Kohenis, she eats Truma. So if she eats Truma, that's a confirmation that she's what? She's not a Chalola. So what she needs, so we'll see, she doesn't need a background check. Right? Now, to what degree, how far back do you have to check to make sure that she's not a Chalola? Arbi Mos, Shein Shmona. 4 generations, 4 mothers, mean 4 on each side, which altogether 8, as the Mishnah will explain. How do you check it? Ernie already learned this. This is a review for Ernie. Okay? Imo, her mother. Who was her mother? Aim Imo. Right? Who was her grandmother? Aim Abi Imo. We're still on the maternal side. The mother of the father of the mother. Right? Aim Abi Imo. The father of her mother, her grandfather, and the mother of that father. Aim Abi Imo. The Imo and her mother. So you're going back 4. The Aim Aviyah and the mother of, now you're checking her. The mother of her father. The Aim, the Imo, the mother of her father and her mother. The Aim Abi Aviyah, the mother of her, the father of her father, the Ima, and the mother of that. Going back 4 mothers on each side. Well, Levi says, what about if the Kohen marries a Leviah or Yisraelis? Mosifin lein orachas. You go back another generation. Ein botkin lo ben disbech u'lomalo. The Gemara is going to discuss the beginning of the Mishnah. What about a person that officiates? Okay? You don't have to check him. Because we said the mother of the father. But let's say the father, he was one of the Kohanim. She's a Bas Kohen. Her father did the Avodah. So they had a Bezdin Kohanim would evaluate and check the qualification of the person, whether he was qualified to do the Avodah. So ein bot kim nemzbech u'lamalo. One second. So Tosa says, we'll see in a moment. Now, when we say ein bot kim nemzbech u'lamalo, what did he do? Did he do shchita? There's certain avodas which even a zor qualifies. For instance, we have the Mishnah in Yuma, the Sol Azazel. Sol Azazel was sent out to the desert. Now, who qualifies to take the Sol Azazel? Even Yisrael. Even Yisrael could take it out to throw it down the mountain. But the Kohanim, the desert Kohanim, it was always a Kohen to take it out. There was an incident one time someone who was not a Kohen took it out, but they were always makbid, even though according to Allah, even a zor is qualified. We say shchita, we say shchita is ksher b'zor. Right? If a zor would do the shchita on a chatos, the valid shchita. Gemara says in Tzvachim Kabola ve'elech. Where do you need a kohen? From blood going beyond that, but the actual shchita is ksher b'zor. Shchita is ksher be'isha. Even shchita is kosher. Even slaughtering, doing shchita on a korban, ola, shlomim, osham, whatever it is, it's valid. So when we speak of Minim Mizbeach, we're not talking about the avodah of the Kohen. We're speaking about the avodah that even a Zoh would be kosher. That since they were makbid, that only Kohanim Miyuchosim would do that. So if he actually officiated in the Beis HaMikdash, even for avodas which are kosher b'zor, that was an indication that it was a Miyuchos. Unless he was Miyuchos, he had that special pedigree that would not allow that person to do it. Even if he's a cholo, it's valid. Right? But a cholo is no better than Yisrael. A cholo. Okay? So when it says in the Mishnah, ein botkim nemzbeach u'lamalo, what aspect of mizbeach? Even avodah, which is ksher b'zor, they would not allow that person. Therefore, that's a confirmation the person was a miyuchos. We're talking about Bas Kohen. We have to check out the pedigree of Bas Kohen. Maybe her father was a cholo. Right. So let's say her father did shchita. Right. He did shchita. Right. Does he have to be checked? He said maybe yes. Because no, if he's a cholo, the answer is no, because they would not allow a zor to do shchita. Even though a zor is kosher, they would not allow a zor to do shchita. Right? So if he's a cholo, so if he's a cholo, he's the equivalent of a zor. So if they would allow him to do shchita, that's an indication that he's a miyuchos. He's a kohen miyuchos. So his daughter is the bas, kohen miyuchos. She's not a chalola. So she wouldn't have to be checked. It's interesting, there's a Rashi, famous Rashi, Psochim. As I always say, it's famous if you know it. You know? So there's a Rashi, Psochim. It says, Rashi says that the mitzvah shchita is on the bailim. It's by Korban Pesach. That there's a mitzvah, the one who brings, he himself should do the shchita. So if that's the case, I mean, what, the Bezdin Shabbanim is going to be makbid, that only a what? That only a kohen should do it. The Torah says, if the one who brings the korban is able to do the shchita, he should do the shchita. So you have to say that's the exception. So it says, Ein bodkin min mizbech u'lamalo, that if he's involved in the mizbech, we're not talking about Korban Pesach. Korban Pesach, even the non-kohen will do the shchita, if he's qualified to do the shchita. So there are other korbanos, chatos, oshem, ola, shlomim. Those korbanos, the only people they would allow there were only kohanim yuchosim. It wasn't that. Tosfos says, what about hefshik v'nituach? What about stripping the hide off the animal? It's not an avoda, right? They would only allow, it's just a mundane act, only kohanim. Kohanim yuchosim. What about nituach? Dismembering the korban, cutting it to parts and putting it on the mizbeach. Not putting it on the mizbeach, just dismembering it. The ones who worked in the butchering location, right? Even that, only kohanim yuchosim they would allow. If you are a yuchos, they would not allow you. So again, it's not only things which are not avoda, things which are not avoda would be a confirmation that the kohen was a kohen yuchos.
So before they check this kohen, the avoda, the shita, do they do all the checking up for generation?
Yeah, definitely. For that, it may be more thorough, even more thorough, because we'll see the Gemara says the Mishnah is going like Reb Meir. According to the Chachomim, you don't have to be concerned. Unless you know there's a problem, we assume there's no problem. But to do the Avodah in Beis Hamikdash, that the person would have to be checked. They definitely would do a background check on the person, without a question. What about a person who was of course it says Levi. Leviah, you go back an extra generation to check out the pedigree, right? To make sure there's no illegitimacy. Israelis, what about he was a Levi? He was the Duchan. He was one of the Meshorim, right? He sang or he played an instrument. Lo min Sanhedrin l'malo. What about he was a member of the Sanhedrin? The Gemara's in Chorah Posuk, it's a mission in Sanhedrin. Let's say a person himself has some kind of illegitimacy. Does he qualify to sit on the Sanhedrin? No. Just as a physical mum, if a member of Sanhedrin had a physical mum, he's not qualified. That's l'chatchila. A person, let's say, was maimed. He's not qualified to be a dayan on the Sanhedrin, even if he's a musmuch. Originally, he was a somuch, then he became a balmum. He's not qualified. What about if his disqualification is in his pedigree? Also not qualified to sit on the Sanhedrin. That I told you the story of Moshe with the pacemaker, because he held that he was qualified to sit on the Sanhedrin if the Mashiach would come. So when they put the pacemaker into him, he wanted to know exactly what the procedure was, because he wanted to know if he'd become a balmum or not. Okay? Because a balmum is disqualified from sitting on the Sanhedrin. Okay? I'm not sure about the London Bezdin. Okay. London Bezdin, I think they'll do a bedika. Okay? Lo min ha-Sanhedrin l'malav. V'chol shehuchzu avosef shotrei harabim. What about if his forefathers did from shotrei harabim? So shotrei harabim, what about Bezdin shel momon? Right? You have to have 3 dayanim. You don't need a Bezdin shel chav gimel or a Bezdin shel ayin. You don't need 70 or a Sanhedrin Ketana. Also, the Gabay Tzedakah. What? What? Who's Gavosa? No. Well, if it's, let's say, his great-grandfather, it has nothing to do with him. Ravosa, his father. Yeah. The Gabay Tzedakah, Misi Lakuna. Vein Tzorach Livdok Achreim, there's no need. Rabbi Yosef Afmi Sho Yochosem Eid Be'erkei HaYeshana Shel Tzipori. So Rashi says there was a community next to Tzipori that he was actually an aide. He was registered as an aide in what? In the protocols of the city. Because again, the only person that was allowed to be the aide would be a person who was a miyuchas. One who was conscripted into the rotation of the melech to do certain service, they only have miyuchasim. In the statue shel melech. So now the Gemara asks a question. Now over here there's a Rashi. So Rashi says, why do we do the pedigree check, the background check? So Rashi says, Botkin, shelo hayu mamzerus olachs min absolus l'kol. Why did we check before they would marry the Kohen, the Kohenes, that they should not be illegitimate mamzerus? Not talking about cholo. She mamzerus achs min absolus l'kol. Lo yovam b'kal Hashem. So not only talking about cholo. So Tosas has an issue here. But as to what kind of children is he going to have, he's not permitted to be with a chalola. Kohen's not permitted to, not only eat truma, he's not permitted to marry a chalola, a Kohen, right? Hanosi isha kohenes, pirish Kohen shabo lisok isha kohenes Tosas, second Tosas. Komret tzorach livdok. She needs the background check. Bisha'onu rotzim shebeno yisham mishal gab mizbeach. Of course, the question is her child going to be qualified to be a Kohen? If she's a chalola, the child's not a Kohen. Aval ein leforish to marry b'Yisrael abo liso isha kohenes. We're not talking about a Yisrael's coming to marry an isha kohenes. We're talking about a Kohen marrying a kohenes, but not a Yisrael marrying a kohenes. Rotzi sheet beno kosher lekuna. The kera may nokat kohenes afilu hoyse chalola nami having a kosher lekuna. The bnei Yisrael mikvetairo lechalolus. Right, we had earlier. We had earlier that if a cholo marries a bas Yisrael, what's her child? They have a daughter. That daughter is not a chalola. We said it says benos Yisrael mikveh taira. They purify the defect. The defect's no longer there. So we're speaking about a Kohen married Kohen. It's not a Yisrael marrying a Kohenes. We're concerned she may be a chalola. Tzorch livdok achre arba imos. Okay, take a look at Tosas. Pirshim konchis bokim mishum chash mamzerus. He says because we're concerned about mamzerus. This is or other Yisrael kohol. That's Rashi. So Tosas has a problem with Rashi. Okay, Botkin. Shaloyu mamzer so achs min absolus l'kol. So Tosas asks, lo nehira, min the porach, min mora, viu nami tivdik b'didei. So what are we only checking? The woman, when the Kohen marries the Kohenes, why don't we check him? His pedigree. She's a bas Kohen. She's definitely legitimate. She's not a chalola. So the Gemara says, here we see that apostle is permitted to marry a bas Kohen who's qualified for a Kohen. There's no isser for her to marry a cholo. For her to marry now, well, so what does apostle mean? Has to be cholo. Has to be cholo. Can be mamzer. No, but if it's mamzer, the Gemara says, from here we bring a rayo that a bas Kohen is permitted to marry a apostle. But if he's a mamzer, she's not permitted to marry a mamzer. Li'ova mamzer kal Hashem. That's Tosas difficulty with Rashi. Why are we checking out her pedigree? Let's check out his pedigree. That's Morris Teres. Because there's no provision for a woman who's kosher to Kohen to marry an apostle. What kind of apostle are we speaking about? My Komar. What do you mean physical? We're talking about spiritual defect. No. And if what kind of defect are we talking about in her? A physical defect. Spiritual defect. So that's the Gemara's question. Why are we checking out her pedigree? Check out his pedigree. Gemara says, from here we see that a kshera is mutter to marry an apostle. What kind of apostle are we speaking about? A mamzer or a cholo? If it's a cholo, because if it's a mamzer, she's not permitted to marry. That's Tosas Kasha. Umay komer huzru linosi l'mamzerim da afilu doma huzru hainu dafku linosi l'chol komer. Where's there no prohibition for a kohenis to marry a cholo? Aval l'mamzerim lo lekach tzorch loma dechashoshe demastisnu mishum chalolus. That we check the pedigree of the kohenis is for what? Not mamzerus. Some chalolus. Maybe she's the child of a woman who was defiled. So Mercer said, why don't we check his? The answer is there's nothing wrong. Even though she's ksheira to a kohen, there's no provision for her to marry a cholo. There's not a problem. No, for her to marry a cholo, there's no love. Right, for him, it's a problem. He's asking, now he has the question. He's asking a new question. Why do we check for mamzerus? So now we've confirmed clearly from the Mishnah and from the Gemara that we're only checking the pedigree to make sure she's not a chalola. And therefore, if we bring a raya that you see that a ksheira is mutter to marry a posel, meaning in terms of chalolus. So why don't we consider about mamzerus? Right? We should check it. Maybe she's a mamzeris. Mamzeris lo shaykh shosha klal. The makirni Yisrael mamzerin shebeneim. Because if that level of illegitimacy, people would know. Chalu, you don't know. It's a big problem today. Bisman it's a very big problem. For a Kohen to marry a Balas Tshuva, it's a very serious problem. We don't have to talk about a Grusha. But a Balas Tshuva is a problem. And even a woman's not a full Balas Tshuva. She went off to college somewhere. She had relations with a non-Jew. She's a zoner. So a Kohen is not permitted to marry her. Any of these are very common questions. And it's just realities. These are realities. She's not permitted to marry that woman, the Kohen. He's a regular Jew. What's he? He's a regular Jew marrying a halal? Nothing. To be continued.